All right, let's talk about something so many of us have dealt with, toxic workplaces. But here's the thing, the most common type, it's probably not what you're picturing. So let's dive right in.
When you think toxic workplace, your mind probably jumps to all that loud, dramatic stuff, right? Like a boss just yelling all the time, people having shouting matches, total chaos. But honestly, that's kind of the Hollywood version of it. What if the real damage, the stuff that truly wears you down, happens somewhere that looks totally calm from the outside? Because for most people, that's exactly what it is. The most common kind of toxicity, it isn't explosive. It's quiet. It's a slow, draining feeling where everything is governed by rules nobody ever says out loud. Yeah, it's the silence that should really worry you.
So let's start with the evidence. Where does this all begin? Well, the first clue is almost always this huge, gaping chasm between what a company says it cares about and what it actually rewards. This is ground zero for where things start to fall apart. And I mean, this probably feels super familiar, right? You've got the posters on the wall with all the pretty words: integrity, collaboration, respect. But then look at who actually gets ahead. It's the person who takes all the credit for team projects, the one who hits their numbers no matter the cost. You learn really, really fast that those posters are just decoration. The real culture is defined by what gets rewarded. So when you see that hypocrisy day in and day out, what happens? You go into survival mode. And let's be super clear here. This is not some kind of personality flaw. It is a 100% rational response. People clam up, they stop offering new ideas, not because they stopped caring, but because they've learned that caring, well, it comes with a price. So you go quiet. You keep your head down. You survive. Okay, so this quiet kind of toxicity, it does way more than just ruin your 9 to 5. It has this deep personal cost that so many of us just brush aside, until it's way, way too late. Take a look at this list. Does any of it hit a little too close to home? That constant humming anxiety in the background? The Sunday scaries that decide to show up on Saturday afternoon? That brain fog you just can't seem to clear? We tell ourselves, oh, it's just stress. Everyone feels this way. But listen, these are alarm bells. They're your body screaming that something in your environment is seriously wrong. And this is maybe the most important thing to get. Burnout isn't the first sign of trouble, it's the last. It's the finish line you cross after months, sometimes years of just ignoring all those other little warnings your mind and body were giving you. But maybe the worst part, the most damaging part of all of this is what it does to your sense of self-worth. You're getting this super vague feedback. The goalposts are constantly shifting, and you can't help but start thinking, is it me? Am I the problem? Let me tell you right now, it's not you. When a system is set up in a way that makes smart, capable people feel like they're constantly failing, that's not imposter syndrome. That is gaslighting, plain and simple, just on a massive scale. So, okay, if it's not a people problem, then what in the world is it? It's a systems failure. The toxicity isn't an accident. It's not a bug. It's a feature of how the whole thing is designed. Let's take a look at why these systems stick around. And this really gets right to the heart of it. It's the accountability double standard. Think about it. The toxic manager who berates their team but still hits their sales targets, they get a gentle coaching opportunity. But the employee who dares to push back on a bad decision, they're slapped with a performance improvement plan. The message couldn't be clearer. As long as you deliver the numbers, your behavior doesn't matter. And what's really valued isn't integrity, it's just compliance. And guess how this whole broken system keeps itself going? Hiring. You hear that phrase, hiring for culture fit, all the time, right? Well, too often, that's just code for hiring people who won't challenge the status quo. The hiring process gets rushed, major red flags get ignored, and every single time they bring on someone new who fits that old, broken mold, the toxicity just digs its roots in a little deeper. So all of this brings us to the big, looming question that everyone stuck in this mess eventually asks themselves. Can this place actually be fixed? Or is getting out the only real answer? Okay, first things first, you have got to learn how to tell the difference between what I like to call culture theater and actual real change. You see it on the left. Pizza parties, meditation apps, new posters with inspirational quotes. That's theater. Real change is on the right. It's firing that top salesperson who's also a total nightmare to work with. It's making decisions out in the open. It's completely rethinking what success even looks like. Don't get distracted by the show. But at the end of the day, it really just boils down to one thing: real change. The deep, structural kind. It's completely impossible if the leaders, the very people who built the system or benefited from it, are unwilling to change themselves. If there's no accountability at the top, nothing below is ever going to get better. Period. All right. So let's say you've looked at the evidence and realized, nope, this place isn't going to change. Now it's time to build an escape plan. But just quitting isn't enough. You have to be smart about it. You have to leave strategically. So let's talk about how to do that. So why is it that so many people manage to leave one awful job only to walk right into another one? I mean, have you ever wondered that? Or maybe you've even lived it. You escape, you feel this huge sense of relief, and then 6 months later you realize it's the same exact problems, just with a different logo on the building. Well, there's a reason that cycle happens. And here's the twist. The biggest risk you face isn't staying. It's leaving in a blind panic. Because when you are desperate, truly desperate to get out, you start overlooking all the red flags in your interviews for the next job. You jump at the first offer, just hoping for the best, instead of doing the hard work to make sure it's actually better. So as you're looking for that next role, I want you to hold on to this one simple truth. A healthy culture doesn't need to spend all its time telling you how healthy it is. In a genuinely good workplace, people are excited to talk about the work itself, the challenges, the cool stuff they're building. They're not trying to sell you on the culture. Healthy places, they just let you do your best work. Let's wrap this up with what is, without a doubt, the most important thing I want you to take away from all this. If you are feeling exhausted, totally burned out, and you're starting to question your own skills and abilities because of a job, please listen to me. You didn't fail the culture failed you. And saying that out loud isn't making an excuse. It's the absolute first step you have to take to go find a place that's actually worthy of you and your talent.